Good evening. Welcome to Channel 8 News. Our top story tonight, the Ogallala Aquifer. Now, for those of you who haven't been keeping up with your environmental updates, the Ogallala Aquifer is a very important aquifer ranging from 12 states going down the Midwest of the United States. The Ogallala Aquifer is one of the world's largest underground freshwater sources, formed by an ancient runoff from the Rocky Mountains and trapped amidst accumulated sand, gravel, clay, and silt. The Ogallala Aquifer is a closed basin, essentially a non-renewable resource that receives less than an inch of freshwater recharge annually. The Ogallala Aquifer also is now facing declining water levels and deteriorating water quality due to an overuse through irrigation of crops. More than 90% of the water pumped from the Ogallala irrigates at least 1/5 of all U.S. cropland. This water accounts for 30% of all groundwater used for irrigation in America. Crops that benefit from this aquifer are cotton, corn, alfalfa, soybeans, and wheat. These crops provide the Midwest cattle operations with enormous amounts of feed and account for 40% of the feedlot beef output here in the U.S. This is an area of high evaporation caused by minimal rainfall, abundant sunshine, low humidity, and strong winds.
After World War II, several important technological developments combined to make large-scale irrigation possible with Ogallala groundwater. New low-cost automobile engines were adapted to power new pumps developed in the oil industry, lifting the groundwater cheaply and in large volumes. Center pivot irrigation systems were developed, which effectively distributed water across farmland. In 1950, the Ogallala irrigated 3.5 million acres of farmland, and in 2000, it was irrigating 16 million acres. So for more than 30 years, the High Plains irrigators have been consuming aquifer water at 10 times the rate of natural recharge. Not only are the water levels in these regions declining at 10 times the rate of recharge, they are also losing topsoil each year. Cattle feedlots that run tens of thousands of cattle through their pens every year demand a minimum of 8 to 10 gallons of water per head per day. Today, the plains are locked into high water consumption to grow the wheat and water the beef. The rapid development of irrigated crop production has resulted in overdraft of the aquifer, with withdrawals greatly exceeding natural recharge and return percolation of irrigated water. The result has been a gradual decline in the water table within the aquifer. Some basic science about the Ogallala Aquifer revolves around two concepts: what goes in and what comes out. Nitrates and fertilizers, used on farms and also on home lawns and gardens, can seep into the groundwater. Pesticides can pollute groundwater in agricultural areas, exceeding the EPA's water quality standards. Groundwater can also be affected by outflow from rivers and streams, either by point or non-point pollution. Animal waste has also become a concern for groundwater pollution because animals' manure is now found to have high concentrations of nitrate. Surprisingly, only a small fraction of Ogallala groundwater is known to be contaminated, such that it fails to meet drinking water standards. The main problem that we see with the Ogallala Aquifer is the overuse of its water and the amount of time it takes to recharge.
In the 1930s, the lack of rainfall and technology's inability to reach the Ogallala Aquifer caused a huge disaster in the High Plains region. This was called the Dust Bowl. Once technology was created in the 1950s, irrigation of crops was more accessible. Today, the Ogallala Aquifer grows wheat, alfalfa, grain, soybeans, corn, and raises cattle.
There are two policies that are influencing the farming practices in the Ogallala Aquifer. The first occurred with the passage of the 1985 Farm Bill called the Food Security Act. This supported low-input sustainable agriculture, also called LISA. It was later expanded and renamed Sustainable Agriculture Research and Education Program. This was largely due to some water issues, the water not meeting EPA drinking water standards due to its high concentration of fluoride, chloride, and sulfate.
Hi, and we're back. I'm here with Farmer Jimbo. And Farmer Jimbo, what are some potential problems that you're facing within the Ogallala Aquifer?
Well, as a local farmer, I've been losing overall profit from increasing expenses due to water pumping.
Can you elaborate on what is driving up the cost of pumping?
Well, rapid water withdrawals keep lowering the water table, which increase the vertical lift of water to the surface. Also, the decreasing saturate thickness of the aquifer is also driving up pumping costs.
Here at the Ogallala Aquifer, I'm Kristen. Back to you.
Although the impacts of this environmental problem seem detrimental, innovations are already being made through sustainable development. Sustainable development is commonly defined as development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Now, some techniques developed are contour farming, strip cropping, planting fiber strips, establishing grass waterways, drip irrigation, or placing green manure. These techniques have been proven successful, but the most important thing we can do is educate the public and our future generations. This is David Martinez signing out. Thank you for watching Channel 8 News. I'm out.